Alright, so today we're going to be looking at red zone and goal line offenses. A formation I've been coming to often nowadays for in the red zone is 8 out of 12 here on the San Francisco playbook called doubles Y flex. And we're just going to make a few adjustments here before we use it. We have to put our best running back in because it doesn't come like that by default typically. We need our fastest receiver right here in this slot. And then we're going to just take two other receivers we like and put them on the outside here. Well, the last thing we need to do is make sure that our fastest, best route running tight end is on the field, and then that's it for the personnel. So here are the audibles we're going to be using in this formation. We got smash pivot, inside zone, slot cross, and PA deep outs. Make sure you have all of those. And every time we come out here inside the red zone, we're going to come out in inside zone and audible to one of those passing plays if we like the look of it or the run doesn't look like it's there. We'll test this out up against cover 2 first. Now against cover 2, what we're going to be doing is using PA deep outs. And we're going to be using John Ross here in the slot to split these two deep coverage zones down the middle and hit him in the back middle of the end zone. To do that, we're going to put X and B both on streaks. Leave everything else the way that it is, and John Ross will get over the top of that mid-read linebacker for a catch in the back of the end zone. Now it's going to look really sketchy. You can see that middle linebacker is playing it pretty well, and if a user was there, he would click on and pick that off. But what happens in online is the mid-read is often going to be played by the user. He's going to get caught either trying to follow one of those streaks or trying to follow the deep in route from the tight end, and it's going to leave a much wider space. So now we're going to look at attacking cover 3. Cover 3, I feel like in the red zone is one of the harder ones to attack, especially something like this, cover 3 sky. A formation like this is really going to get you to take your checkdowns more often, your flats. The deep passes are going to be pretty difficult to get open, but we're going to be using bench, motion over this tight end, and create this flood concept. What we're going to be doing is looking for John Ross, our wide receiver, on that deep out route in the very back corner of the end zone. That's where you're going to be pass leading this ball straight to the back corner, manually take him over, and keep his feet in bounds. That hitch below is going to keep the corner down for just long enough for the corner route to get over the top of him. And CJ, our A tight end on top, is going to clear out anyone that would go into that back corner and cause us any issues. It will be a tight squeeze, but the ball from the 20 or longer should be open in the end zone. And what we can do if the user is taking that over manually and covering that corner route is just put Boyd here on a slant coming across the middle. Since we have so many receivers over on that side, by the time Boyd gets over, you can see that there's a nice little gap opened up for him, and he'll be able to catch a big gain as well. So going right back into it, here we're going to go up against cover 2 man. And against man, we're going to be using slot cross. These crossers are very dangerous. You can put Boyd on a slant here because we're going to be trying to get under those two deep blues. And with this crossing route, slant combo, both of these routes should get open against man coverage and be somewhere near the front corners of the end zone. You can see when we hike the play, both of them are going to get open across the field. The other routes are just smoke to get the user to start looking at something else. And if he guards one, you just throw to the other. And while this might not be a guaranteed touchdown every time you throw it, it will be open for big yards. All you need to do is put that B receiver on a slant. Something to keep in mind is the running play out of this formation. This double Y flex is also pretty good. You can see we bust it for yards there. This is big nickel, so it's not a run defense, but if it looks like the run is there, the point is all you have to do is make one guy miss, and you have a pretty big running lane open for you with that inside zone. So now we're going to be taking a look at goal line. Goal line, the first and only adjustment I'm going to make every time is ball carrier aggressive. This will get him to fall forward and auto break tackles more often. And for most of the runs out of this playbook, we're not really concerned with fumbling. What we're going to be using is I-form tight, the 6th out of the 7th I-forms that you get. And the only two audibles or formation subs we're going to make is putting our second best running back in at fullback and making sure that our best wide receiver route running wise and our best tight end route running wise are over on the right side of the field. These are the audibles we're going to be using: halfback ISO, halfback stretch, fullback dive, and Z slant. And when we're in goal line, we want to come out in Z slant every time, no matter what we're doing, so that it never looks like we're audibling into a pass and giving away what we're doing, that we're scared to run. So if it looks like it's diveable, this fullback dive will break open through most defenses. Goal line is the hardest, so that's what we've done. We've just picked a random goal line. I like to swap sides and flip the run over away from the user, or Geno Atkins over there is a superstar defensive tackle. I don't like to run towards those guys, so I'm going to flip the run away from that. But you can see here that it works either way. Goal line really has the best chance of stopping that, and even goal line struggles with it. That's going to be our bread and butter, is using fullback dive. We also have halfback ISO and halfback stretch in case for some reason he's blowing up the dive and it's not working. Stretch is a little more inconsistent. I wouldn't use it often, and because we have that ball carrier aggressive, it leaves a much bigger lane open for them to potentially hit stick you and cause a fumble. So generally, if I'm not running, you can see here, it's kind of a gamble. You might lose yards on that play. I wouldn't run stretch often, but we have it there just in case it looks open. You can see the halfback ISO takes a little longer to develop, but the blocking is also a little bit better than dive. If for some reason they're blowing up fullback dive, just switch to ISO, and you should be able to punch it in. Now the Z slant, why we have this, why we're coming out on this every time, is because the only adjustment we have to make at a Z slant, it's a perfect goal line pass play. The only thing we need to do is go max protect, and that'll block X, our tight end X, and we're just going to be making a simple read on A and B. If someone follows A, we throw a lob pass over the linebackers to B. And you can see here he gets open, he gets separation, but just an unfortunate animation. This pass isn't a guarantee every time, but it should be there more times than not for you. You see no one followed A, so we throw to him, and he can easily walk it in. Again, we're max protecting. Now we're throwing to B. That's a better coverage than we had on the last play, but he actually catches that. And we want to make sure that we're not bullet passing this. We're lob passing it to B, just so that it gets over the heads of those linebackers. The AI can't pick it off. And really all we're testing is our short route running on Tyler Boyd out there at the B receiver versus whatever corner they have covering him. I waited a little too long to throw that ball, but you get the point. So there you go. That's spread doubles flex and I-form tight. Both of these plays are really good. Yeah.